Hi, I'm Kimberly K. Erickson-Nichols, and I'm a holistic trauma specialized psychotherapist and child development specialist, as well as a parenting and life enhancement coach. Today, I'm going to be providing a very quick, real basic introduction to a method called Emotional Freedom Technique, or EFT for short. It's also referred to as tapping. I'm going to be showing you how you can easily incorporate the use of essential oils as you utilize this technique. This combination with oils and tapping is just a phenomenal way that you can take your physical and emotional well-being into your own hands. So EFT, or tapping, is a powerful holistic healing technique that's been proven to effectively resolve a wide range of issues, including things like stress or anxiety, phobias, emotional disorders, chronic pain, addiction issues, weight control, limiting beliefs. Hey, that's just to name a few. Tapping therapy is based on a combined principle of ancient Chinese acupuncture and modern psychology. So tapping with the fingertips on specific meridian endpoints of the body while focusing on negative emotions or negative physical sensations helps to really calm that nervous system, helps to rewire the brain to respond in healthier ways, and it helps in restoring the body's balance of energy. Tapping makes full use of the mind-body connection, acknowledging then and integrating the concepts that physical pain, disease, and mental well-being are intricately combined to our emotional states. The body is equipped with an energy system that travels along pathways known as meridians, and tapping on these meridian endpoints helps to stimulate the system, and when verbally or mentally addressing the root cause of distress, that area then of blocked energy is able to release and flow again naturally. Now, the basic tapping technique requires you to focus on the negative emotion at hand, such as fear or worry, a bad memory, an unresolved problem or unresolved trauma, really anything that's bothering you. And while maintaining your mental focus on that particular issue, you use your fingertips to tap on each of the 9 specific meridian points of the body that I'm going to show you in just a moment. Tapping on these meridians then, and these meridian points in sequence, while concentrating on the negative emotion, engages both the brain's limbic system and the body's energy system, encouraging a sense of safety and therefore resolution. And as scientific field of epigenetics is proving, while you change your internal environment, which is your emotions and your beliefs, then external changes in your mental and your physical health will follow. So in some ways, tapping is very similar to acupuncture. Like tapping, acupuncture achieves healing through stimulating those body's meridians and the energy flow. But there's one thing that's different that I think stands out as one of the advantages to tapping, and that's that there's no needles involved. Now, let me show you first by introducing you to the tapping points. First, I want you to take one hand. Now, I'm right-handed, so I typically use my right hand for tapping, and we're going to begin kind of on this more fatty side. It's the opposite of the thumb on the opposite hand, and this is the karate chop point. We're going to be using a setup phrase and repeating 3 times when we tap here. The next point is right here, kind of in the bridge of your nose, in the corner of your eye. We're going to tap there. The next point is on the outside of the eye. The next is underneath the eye, kind of on that bone. And again, you'll see that I use 2 or 3 fingers, depending upon the location. You're not putting a lot of pressure, but we're tapping fairly firmly. And the next is under the nose. The next point is under the bottom lip. The next point then is right here on that collarbone, right underneath it. So if you kind of take your hands on the bone and just kind of slide it down, it's almost feeling tender if it's pushed too hard. Okay, the next point is under our armpit, right adjacent to our breast, right along for women where our bra band is. And then lastly, we finish by tapping on the top of the head. Now, we can do both hands, we can do one or the other. No way is more effective. Because it's so simple, I oftentimes do two hands at once, but there's no need to, okay? So those are the 9 points. Now, here's how the whole sequence works. First, we identify the problem on which you really want to focus. And for today's demonstration purposes, we're going to be focusing on anxiousness or anxiety. It can be general anxiety. It can be a specific situation that you get anxious about just thinking, like maybe public speaking, or again, just real general anxiousness. Next, we consider the problem or situation in the current moment. So, how do you feel about it right now? Right here in the present moment. I want you to rate the intensity level of your anxiety on a scale of 0 to 10, with 0 being the lowest level of anxiety and 10 being the highest. Okay, you got that? So I want you to remember, we're going to recall that later. Now, I want you to grab one of your favorite calming or grounding essential oils. I love using Adaptive Calming Blend or Balance or Serenity, even Wild Orange. So go ahead. If you need to pause the video to get your oil, do so and come back. But grab your oil, and I want you to put a drop. I'm going to use Adaptive today. I want you to put a drop in your hand, a drop or two. And then I want you to take some, and I want you to rub them on pulse points such as wrist. I want you to rub on temples, across the forehead. Take some, rub in the back of your neck. Good area for accessing brain, right? And then I want you to rub your hands together, and I want you to inhale 3 deep breaths. Okay. Now, we're ready to compose a setup statement. So now your setup statement should be acknowledging that problem that you want to deal with. So in this case, anxiousness. And then we're going to follow it with an unconditional affirmation of yourself as a person, because we want to target those self-sabotaging, limiting beliefs and those messages that we get sent. So here's some examples of setup phrases. Even though I feel this anxiety, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I feel anxious just thinking about public speaking, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I feel anxious about my financial situation, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. So those are some examples. We're going to be just using a real specific one for today, okay? And again, I'm going to be addressing anxiety and stress. So with 4 fingers on the one hand, on the karate chop point, begin tapping here. The karate chop point now is here again on the opposite side of the thumb. Okay. So as we do this, I want you to again take 1 deep breath. And we're going to start. Even though I feel anxious, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Say it again. Even though I feel anxious and stressed, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Lastly, even though I feel anxious, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. And here's where we're going to go through the next sequence. So the upper eye, this anxiety. Okay, we can do both hands or one. Side of the eye, this anxiety. Under the eye, this anxiety. Under the nose, this anxiety. Under the bottom lip, this anxiety. Under the armpit, kind of on that bra band, this anxiety. Top of the head, this anxiety. Now, I like to do this sequence 3 times as one grouping. So let's start again. Upper eye, this anxiety. Side of the eye, this anxiety. Under the eye, this anxiety. Under the nose, this anxiety. Under the bottom lip, this anxiety. The collarbone, this anxiety. Under the armpit, this anxiety. And top of the head, this anxiety. Okay, last sequence. Upper eye, this anxiety. Side of the eye, this anxiety. Under the eye, this anxiety. Under the nose, this anxiety. Under the bottom lip, this anxiety. Under the collarbone, this anxiety. And under the armpit, this anxiety. Lastly, top of the head, this anxiety. Okay, cup your hands together over your nose, smelling the oil that you'll still be able to smell, and take one really deep breath. Let it out. Okay, now that we've completed that sequence, focus on your anxiousness again. How intense is it right now in comparison to a few minutes ago? Give it a rating on that same 0 to 10 scale. You got it? Did you notice a shift? Now, if your anxiety level is still higher than a 2 or 3, you can do another round of tapping. Oftentimes you're going to feel the more that you utilize this technique, the quicker you're going to drop down and just remove those emotional issues. But if it's still above a 2 or 3, keep tapping through the sequences until that anxiety is gone. We just change your setup a little bit. And by that I mean, we would do, even though I have this remaining anxiousness and stress, I deeply and completely accept myself. We would do that 3 times. And we would just change it here to say this remaining anxiety, this remaining anxiety, this remaining anxiety, this remaining anxiety. And we would go through all of those same points all the way through. And again, 3 times, followed up by a deep breath. And again, rate it. At that point, did it shift? Okay? All right. So once we've done that and we've just really cleared out some of the emotional yuck, now we can work on instilling positive feelings in its place. Now, this approach is much different from traditional positive thinking. You're not being dishonest with yourself. You're not trying to obscure the stress and the anxiety in yourself with kind of an insincere affirmation, but rather you've confronted and you've dealt with the anxiety and its corresponding negative emotions, and therefore offering deep and complete acceptance to both your feelings and yourself as a person. So after now we've done those rounds and we've cleared out the emotional dirt, the emotional yuck, we're going to tap those positive vibrations in. Okay? So by doing that, we're not trying to trick ourselves, and like we do with the positive affirmations. It's not insincere trying to make ourselves believe something. So here's some phrases that we can use to tap in more of the positive vibes and positive feelings. We would tap on the chopping point. Even though I experienced anxiousness, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Even though I experienced anxiousness, I love myself and I love feeling calm. Last time, even though I have experienced anxiousness, I love feeling calm and at peace. And then we would tap in some positive things. And this can just be changed, but I'll just give you some examples. I have faith in my ability to change. I'm joyful about the positive changes. I'm enjoying the person that I'm becoming. I don't know. I love this feeling of calm and peace. I love letting go of this stress. I love feeling more joyful. I love feeling at peace. Top of the head, I love feeling calm. And we would do that 3 times as we did before. Again, ending with taking a deep breath as we inhale in the essential oils that will still smell on our hands. All right, congratulations. You just completed your first round of tapping while incorporating essential oils. Now, this was very brief and very basic, but I hope you enjoyed this and found it both enjoyable and helpful. Now, I encourage you, add this to your wellness toolbox. Put it into practice. Try it on everything. I think you'll like the results.